I get a lot of questions about the two P&O Cruises, the British one and the Australian one. And in fact, sometimes people outside of Australia don't even realise that there's an Aussie P&O Cruises. So how did we end up with two P&O Cruises? And what are the differences and similarities between them? The story of P&O Cruises began at the dawn of steamships, with the Peninsula Steam Navigation Company, which was founded in 1835. Envisioned as a small cargo and passenger service, PSN Co. originally linked Great Britain with Europe through the Iberian Peninsula. In 1840, the line set its sights on expansion and was reorganised as the Peninsular and Oriental Steam Navigation Company, or P&O. As P&O grew, so did its network, with the line establishing a number of voyages to various destinations across the British Empire. By the turn of the 20th century, P&O was a dominant force in shipping and a household name in both the United Kingdom and Australia. P&O had offered a form of cruising from the early days of its European voyages. Marketed then as the Grand Tour, travellers could book passage on several P&O ships to create their own round-trip itinerary. This was achieved by working with P&O to book passage on ships that had complementary itineraries. When these itineraries were combined, travellers could sail from port to port on different P&O ships, creating a round-trip cruise. Fast forward to the 1920s and cruising had become better defined, but the stock market crash of 1929 led to a stark decline in ocean liner voyages, leading P&O to increase their cruising activity. Mediterranean cruise offerings were combined into marketable pleasure voyages, which offered UK residents an affordable way to holiday. And on the other side of the world, the first Australian cruise took place on board the P&O ship Strathaired. This November 1932 voyage departed from Sydney, bound for Norfolk Island. It was a cost-effective and fun break from the difficulties of the Depression years, and proved popular. As such, P&O gradually expanded the Australian offerings to take in other South Pacific islands as well as New Zealand. So by the 1930s, P&O is an established brand. It is one of the largest and most reputable shipping companies in the world, and despite the difficulties of the Great Depression, P&O remained flexible, offering cruises out of Britain and Australia. Skipping ahead again, and the shipping industry was about to face its biggest disruption yet, jet airliners. When Boeing's game-changing 707 took to the skies in 1958, the traditional passenger shipping business model started to crumble. Jet airliners made a lasting impact on P&O, not only in the UK and European market, but also in Australia, as Qantas was the first non-US airline to introduce 707 jets as early as 1959. A decade later, the drop in passengers on line voyages was exacerbated when Boeing's 747 revolutionized long-haul flying. Wide-body jets meant flying became affordable, and travellers embraced airlines at the expense of ships. After all, why spend days on an unair-conditioned and unstabilized ship in humid and rough conditions when you could fly to the other side of the world in a matter of hours? In order to survive, cruising became even more important to P&O, and during the 1970s, the brand transitioned its passenger shipping division into a cruise line. Many older ships were scrapped. Their largest liner, Canberra, was positioned in the UK market, while the 1959-built Oriana was sent to Australia to cruise out of Sydney. During this time, P&O expanded further by buying other cruise lines. They acquired Princess Cruises in 1974 and gobbled up Sitmar Cruises in 1988. All but one of Sitmar's cruise ships were transferred across to Princess Cruises, with the Australian-based Fairstar the only exception. Fairstar was already quite an old ship when P&O acquired her, with a heritage that dated back to 1957. However, her casual and relaxed onboard atmosphere made her the most popular cruise ship in the Australian market. Fairstar offered fun, low-cost cruises for Aussies wanting to have a party weekend or a week-long getaway on a ship with no formalities or minimum dress code. Because of Fairstar's unique hold on the market, P&O decided to retain her under an Australian brand, P&O Holidays. This brand shared the P&O name and the P&O house flag, but Fairstar, the only ship in the brand at the time, had her own unique marketing and even carried a unique dolphin logo on her funnel. From the late 1980s, we start to see two distinct brands forming. P&O in the UK continued to offer cruises with Canberra, expanding in the 1990s with the addition of Oriana, Victoria, and Arcadia. In the Southern Hemisphere, Fairstar was eventually replaced by the larger Fair Princess in 1997, and she revived the buff funnel colours in Australia, but this was short-lived. When Sky Princess was transferred to the newly rebranded P&O Australia in 2000, she wore a new blue livery with distinctive yellow font on the funnel. And from here we see the two brands diverge even further. P&O Cruises UK received the bulk of the attention, with new build Aurora entering service in 2000. 2002 also saw the addition of Adonia and Oceania, two ships that were transferred to P&O Cruises from the Princess Cruises brand. The 2003 merger of Carnival and P&O Princess coincided with a boom in Australian cruising. As such, the P&O Australia fleet expanded, with Pacific Sun and Pacific Star, two former Carnival Cruise Line ships, joining the fleet. While P&O UK has received the bulk of the attention and plenty of new builds, including Azura and Ventura, P&O Australia has never yet received a purpose-built cruise ship. Instead, the line seems to be a little bit like the little sister, reliant on hand-me-downs from other brands within the Carnival Corporation. For example, at its peak of 5 ships in 2015, the Pacific Dawn was the former Regal Princess, Pacific Jewel was the former Crown Princess, Pacific Pearl was the former Arcadia, while Pacific Eden and Pacific Aria were originally Staten Dam and Rheindamm for Holland America Line. Today, the two brands both still share the same name and the same house flag, but the onboard experience on each of the brands is worlds apart. P&O Australia has a fleet of 3 ships, all former Princess Cruiser ships, although each has had a multi-million-dollar refurbishment to Australianize them. On the other hand, P&O UK has a custom-built fleet of 6 ships. This includes their brand new $950 million ship Iona, which is the flagship of the P&O fleet, as well as another new build, Avia, which is under construction at the moment and due to the fleet in 2022. Having sailed on board both brands as a guest lecturer, I'd say that P&O Australia is fun, casual and relaxed. There's a welcoming and friendly onboard environment, and it's a relaxing and stress-free holiday, and very, very local. In fact, nearly all of the passengers on board are from Australia and New Zealand. The onboard currency is the Australian dollar, and the ships are all home ported in Australia or New Zealand, with itineraries not venturing too far from home. On the other hand, P&O UK are based in Southampton, offering year-round voyages for the UK market and world cruises. The brand offers a higher level of formality and luxury than its Aussie cousin, providing a more refined and noticeably British experience with the onboard currency in Great British Pounds. Oh, and to finish off, the British travellers will know that P&O Cruises UK is known for its Great British Sail Away Party. Well, perhaps this is something that the two brands also share, because the Australian brand is known for its Aussie Sail Away Party. The only difference between the two that I can see is that on the Australian P&O ships, you'll need your hat and sun cream for sun protection all year round. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. If you'd like to know more about P&O Cruises and its long history, I co-authored a book about P&O with Rob Henderson, Doug Kramer and Rochelle Cross. It's called A Photographic History of P&O Cruises, and I put details in the description below. Thanks once again for watching, and when it is safe for us to travel again, I hope to see you on board.